Okay, so today we'll discuss about internal components of a computer system. So you already know a system is consist with software, hardware and user. And there can be hardware, but without software we can't get any use from hardware. So but here we are going to discuss about this hardware component of a computer system. So at first we are going to consider about the things or the hardware components inside the system unit. So when we have to learn about hardware, the modern computers and devices have lots of hardware components, chips and everything. So it is hard to learn about every these hardware components. So here we are just going to learn about some basic or the main parts of a computer. So if you understand these main parts or basic parts of a computer, then you can get some idea how these parts or how these every computers are going to work. So at first we look into the system unit. So this is the system unit. So this is the system unit of a PC computer. Okay, so this system unit, here you can see the motherboard. Okay, wait, I'll get the pointer. So here this is the motherboard, and apart from the motherboard you can see the fan and power supply unit and CD-ROM and hard drive and all. So this is the motherboard, and inside the motherboard also you can see lots of parts. Here you can see CPU, RAM, a video card. So at first we are going to discuss about the components of a motherboard. And remember, this is the system unit of a desktop computer. And in a laptop and tabs also we have this same type of system, but here they have some what wrapped together and they have some simplicity more than these components. Okay, so it's easy for us if we start or if we learn these things from a PC or a PC's system unit. Okay, so here we have the motherboard. So what is this motherboard? Have you ever seen a motherboard? So here this is some picture of a motherboard. So we can say this is the circuitry, or this is the main circuitry board, and also we refer this motherboard as the MB main board or M board or MOBO, MOBD or backplane board and base board, main circuitry board, planner board, and there are lots of names for the motherboard. And also in the Apple computers we call this motherboard as the logic board. So this is how the motherboard is going to display, and here you can see lots of components that the motherboard has. And also you should know that the main reason or the main responsibility of the motherboard is to connect all the components of the board to the CPU. And the CPU is responsible to everything happen in a computer. So it controls input and output, and also it controls process. So to control all these things, then the CPU should connect with all these things. So the motherboard provide the circuitry for that. So motherboard give the connectivity to all and each components of the computer. So then we know the motherboard connects all input and output devices to the CPU also. So that's why we need ports. So here you can see some cross view of a motherboard's ports. So using these motherboard ports we can connect internal also and external parts to the computer using these ports, and we can connect these things into the CPU. So we know the motherboard provides connectivity between hardware components of a computer like the CPU, RAM, hard drive and video card. So motherboard's main job is to hold the computer's processor chip and let everything else connect to this computer processor chip. So here this has the electronic components of the system. So here it has the CPU and the memory, and it provides connector for the other peripheral devices. So you know that each motherboard is designed to work with specific type of processors and memory. So therefore we can't use every motherboard with every computers, because for each computer type and model they have a specific type of a motherboard. So this type differ from the processor, memory and also motherboard's form factor. So then we'll see what is this motherboard form factor. So what is a form factor is, when we discuss about computer hardware, then we have to consider about the size, that means dimension, physical dimensions and the layout of this hardware. So this layout, and this is physical and layout specification, we called as the form factor. So for the things for the motherboard we called as the motherboard form factor. So this affects where individual components go and the shape of the computer case. And the form factor of a motherboard is the dimension of the motherboard, and also the shape of the motherboard and size of the motherboard, and also where the components of the motherboard situated. You know, in a motherboard they carry lots of components and also the microprocessor in the motherboard. Then this form factor determines where the microprocessor is situated and where the ports are situated and where the RAM and where the PCR ports. Everything are decided by this motherboard's form factor. And you should know the most popular motherboard form factor is ATX. And another form factor is introduced by BTX, but this form factor is not no longer in use. And also we have NTX, so this is some old form factor. So we'll discuss about these factors separately. So according to the size we can have these types of form factors: XT, AT, ATX and micro ATX. So the now XT and AT are somewhat old and we can't see these things now very frequently, but ATX is the standard one. Okay, so here, and micro ATX, it is also a newly developed thing, but it is smaller than this ATX. So XT, so this stands for extended technology. So these are all model motherboards. So here in these motherboards we can find all model processor socket like LIF sockets, and also we can see RAM slots are DIMMS and ISA slots. And here we can see the power connector as a 12-pin power connector, and also there are no ports in these XT motherboards. So this is a picture of an XT motherboard. So here this example shows this Pentium 1. So examples for XT motherboards are Pentium 1, Pentium MMX and so on. So then we have AT motherboards. So this AT stands for advanced technology. So after XT we have AT, which is advanced technology. So here we have this PGA or the pin grid array sockets, and also SDRAM slots, and now they have a 12-pin power connector PCI slots and ISA slots. So we can find about components of, so these components we can find these slots and components in an ATX motherboard. So for examples for this AT So for example, for this 80 motherboard, Pentium 3 processor. So here you can see the picture of an 80 motherboard. So then next we have ATX motherboards. So this stands for Advanced Technology Extended. So all latest motherboards are from this form factor. So here we have MGPA processor sockets and DDR RAM slots and PCI slots, AGP slots and SATA connectors and 12 pin and 24 pin ATX power connector and ports. So these are some example. This is some example or a picture of ATX motherboard, and for examples we can get Pentium 4 dual core, Core 2 Duo, i3, i5 and i7 processors. And then we have micro ATX motherboards. So this one is explicitly designed to backward compatible with ATX. That means we can use this micro ATX motherboards with the full size ATX cases also. So this is just smaller version of this ATX, and mounting points of micro ATX motherboards are a subset of used in full size ATX boards, and the input output panel is identical. And so for the micro ATX motherboard, support CPUs are Intel or AMD. So this is the picture of micro ATX motherboards. And you know that we discussed the CPU controls everything, including input and output. So then input and output devices are external devices. So then we have to connect these external devices to the CPU. So this responsibility gets by the motherboard. So motherboard is responsible to connect everything to the CPU. So the motherboard has responsibility to connect the input and output devices to the CPU also. So for this motherboard has ports. So using these ports we connect external devices to a computer. So for this we can use cables and ports. So using these things it is capable of connect these devices or plug in these devices to the motherboard. And for examples, using these ports we can connect mouse, keyboards, monitors, microphones, speakers and so on. So this is how these ports are going to display in a motherboard. Okay, so here we have several ports. We are going to discuss about each of these ports now. So this is also another side view of ports in a motherboard. So the first thing is the PS2 connectors. And normally in the PS2 connectors like this, they include with a picture, they represent with a picture what is the port that we are going to connect to the each port, or what is the device we can connect to this each port. So here normally we use this PS2 connectors to connect keyboards and mouse. And the next thing is the USB. I think you are very familiar with these things because USB or Universal Serial Bus port, we use these things to connect the things like external hard drives, pen drives and MP3 players and video cameras and lots of things we can connect with using this USB port. Then parallel or LPT port. So normally we use this parallel port to connect scanners and printers. And then the game port. So this port we use this port to connect with gaming devices like a joystick and all. And then sound card connectors. So here you can plug in your microphone, speakers and the audio devices. So here these ports are directly connected to the sound cards. So these things will provide the accessibility to the sound card. And then we have motherboard ports, or we call this as this motherboard port as display connector or VGA port. So normally we use this to connect monitor to the computer's video card. So we can plug or we can connect monitor to the system unit or the motherboard using this plug, and this is it will directly connects to the computer's video card, and this is similar to the serial port connector, but the difference is the serial port connector has pins, but here this VGA port has holes. And then we have this serial port, and we use this to connect external modems, and for all the computer mouses we use this port to connect these all the computer mouses. And the Ethernet port, I think this is also something that we normally use. So if you need to connect to some network using a cable, that means if you need to connect to some high speed internet, then you should use this port. So it connects, so this port connects the network cable of the computer, so it resides on an Ethernet card. So then this is the power connector. So this connector, using this we can connect the power supply cable or the power supply to the motherboard, and this is a three-pronged plug, and this connects the computer's power cable into a power bar or a wall socket. So again, this is some view of a motherboard with the connector. So here you can see the PCI connector, and here you can see the game controller ports, and here are the sound card ports. And then you have some exercise to do. So you have to answer these questions. The first thing is, what is the main job of a motherboard? And then mention the form factors of a motherboard you know, and then you have to find, or you have to write down, what is the port that used to connect a printer or a scanner, and then what is the port that is used to connect the joystick, and then how to connect microphones or speakers to a motherboard, and then what is the usage of a Ethernet port. Okay, now answer these questions.